So let me talk for a second about how the Corona lockdown has impacted my business, my way of working, and maybe you can learn a couple of things that you can do for your business as well here. First of all, I've already set up my business to be able to work remotely most of the time. I still prefer to have first meetings with clients in person because this creates more of a connection. That's maybe who I am as a person, but I think in general, you will get a better connection with people you don't know yet if you meet them in person first, and then you can do your digital meetings, video meetings after that. So that I'm using video meetings quite a lot, but most of the time not for the first meeting. So what are the things that I do to make sure that everything keeps going when you are working from home most of the time, or working remotely most of the time, or if you're working with a distributed team? So first of all, everything that we are doing is gathered in Basecamp, a project management tool. And first, we use this only internally. Created the projects there. Every task that needs to be done is in there. Every discussion regarding a task is also kept in Basecamp with that exact task, which makes it quite simple when you're working on a task to get to know everything that you need to know for that task. Where in the past, when this was done through email, you would have to look up all the emails internally from the client, gather all the information, and then you could work on the task. So this makes it a lot more simple and a lot more efficient. Then in the second phase that I implemented Basecamp, I also involved the clients in the Basecamp projects. Now, to be totally honest, this doesn't work for every client as well as it should be, but for, let's say, 70% of the clients, it works pretty well. And this also makes my email inbox a lot more silent, let's say, a lot more less busy than before when everything was done over email, over phone calls. Phone calls are even more distracting in that way, because I also can set Basecamp to be on focus mode. I will get no notifications. I will be working on a single task, and when I'm ready to do some project management, I'll turn off the focus mode and I'll see all the notifications from clients internally, everything I need to know. Also, these notifications are pretty good as well. So you have a Hey tab, and the Hey tab is pretty much like a notifications tab in Facebook, for example. So everything that happened since the last time I opened that tab will be in there, and I will see everything going on in all the different projects. For client projects, I also can use the project in two different ways, or I can split the project between things that the client can see and things that are only for internal use. So a lot of the discussions the client shouldn't be involved in, or it's not necessary for the client to be involved in. And those are the things that we keep internally only. And then the things that are visible to the client and are discussed with the client are marked that way as well. Then for the meetings, I think it's very important, and this is something that I really noticed over the past couple of days, especially if you have larger meetings. It's very important to have an agenda beforehand. So don't just go in a meeting ad hoc and try to figure out the agenda as you are going. This is something that you should always do, but nowadays with digital meetings, video meetings, it's even more important because people will get distracted very easily if you don't do this. Also, this gives people the opportunity to prepare for the meeting and make things more efficient as well. That way you can make a 1-hour meeting a 30-minute meeting. So thumbs up for efficiency. Then for what your sales is concerned, this is something that I was already working on. Main reason for that being that in the past I used to work with a lot of local clients, and now I'm working on a plan to work with more remote clients worldwide. I already have my first clients this way, and you have to think in different ways to go about sales at that point. For local clients, you will have a lot mouth-to-mouth marketing, where for international clients, this will not be the case. You will get these clients this way, but it will be a lot less than with local clients. So what do you do instead? You have to make sure that you put out a lot of content around the things that you're doing, so marketing basically, and make sure that people find you this way. They will find you through SEO, they can find you through ads. You can get involved in different discussions like on Reddit or maybe in LinkedIn groups. And this way people will get to know you and you will build some kind of connection with these people. Then when you see there's an opportunity to help these people with a challenge that they're facing, you can always DM them or send them an instant message to offer your services to them, and you will already have built up some kind of rapport with these people. This will make it a lot easier to connect with these people and possibly make a sale than when you don't have built this rapport beforehand. Something else that I'm experimenting with, that I'm actually implementing this week, is doing open office hours. So when you're working in the office, you will come across people, you will talk with people about random stuff, maybe about the stuff that you're working on. But when you're working from home, that isn't necessarily the case. And you also don't want to be in your messages all day long. So this Friday, I'm doing an hours-long open office hours, where people can just contact me to have a 20-minute discussion about basically anything they want to have a discussion about. This way you will still have the personal contacts that you normally would get at the coffee machine in the office, but you will have them in a digital way. If you normally do offline events, like for example workshops, in my case this could be like workshops for Facebook ads, workshops for Google ads, those will also probably be cancelled right now. So how can you figure this out to make sure these things keep happening, but with the possibilities that we have today? So, for example, you can create a webinar for people, maybe even make it free if you have the time and the resource to do this. And you can promote this on Facebook, you can promote this on LinkedIn. Facebook ads are pretty cheap right now, so that's definitely one thing that you could look at. And you could do them in a form as a webinar. This way, again, more people can get to know you, more people can get to know your knowledge. And these people will definitely think about you once they get back in the office and they come across a challenge they're facing, or maybe they're facing a challenge right now that they need to figure out. Probably you will get the questions from these people. Whereas if you don't do these things, you're not putting out this content, people just don't know what you're working on anyway. Another interesting fact is that people who normally tend to be very busy people, which will be pretty hard to get a meeting with, most of the time you will have a better chance now to get a meeting with these people, a digital meeting obviously, when you reach out to them right now. And this will be a great way to reach out to these normally hard to reach people. It's something that you should give a try.